It's me, Cristal, the administrator for Uncensored Truth about Cryptic Pregnancy and Phantom Pregnancy Support Group on Facebook, and the creator of this channel, Cryptic Pregnancy Truth. If you're new here, let me quickly give you a background. Back in 2016, I experienced what I thought was a cryptic pregnancy. I was certain I was testing negative, but was still pregnant. After a negative ultrasound revealed no baby and a normal-sized uterus, I came to realize I wasn't pregnant and my uterus was empty. It was devastating. My heart was broken and I felt betrayed by my own body. I wanted to hide, and what made it more complicated was I shared my story on YouTube. I had shared in videos that I was certain I was pregnant, but was testing negative in urine and blood because I was experiencing persistent and consistent physical symptoms. Back then, my YouTube channel was called Cristal Lujan DH. I contemplated telling a white lie to the few hundred subscribers that had invested in my story on YouTube that I had miscarried or lost the baby, instead of admitting I was never pregnant in the first place. I finally decided to just tell the truth because it was the right thing to do and it could help others. I shared in a video that I wasn't actually pregnant. I was never pregnant from January 2016 to May 2016. It took months for me to fully realize exactly what I had experienced. For a few months, I called what I thought it was, which was a spiritual pregnancy, which was misinformed. After a ton of research, I realized I had actually experienced a false or phantom pregnancy. The major lack of information and personal stories available online inspired me to share my story as much as possible because it happens. Women can mistakenly believe or think they are pregnant, even for a few days, weeks, months, and now recently years. This common experience is normal in a woman who is sexually active. Wondering if she's pregnant is healthy and appropriate. My phantom pregnancy experience was triggered by the trauma of a rollover accident involving my entire immediate family the month before, and being more sexually active after my husband and I had just got married a month prior to the trigger of my false pregnancy, along with many other factors that contributed to the cause of my phantom pregnancy experience back in 2016. During that time, I experienced unexplained symptoms, and because I was desperate and naive, I looked for answers on the internet. This regretfully led me to the toxic world of cryptic pregnancy. Some call it a pregnancy of years, a hidden pregnancy, unconfirmed pregnancy, hook effect pregnancy, or spiritual pregnancy. It has evolved into many things, from an idea to make profit in Africa from desperate and fertile couples that pregnancy can last indefinitely and with a baby that cannot be seen on ultrasound, and start and stop growth, to the inconsistent online theory of a pregnancy that is triggered through research of the terms negative pregnancy test but pregnant, HCG dropped but still pregnant, or hook effect pregnancy, and the results of this search led the person to the disgusting information the Gilmore Foundation glamorizes as truth, as well as one of my stalkers, the self-proclaimed original online universal cryptic pregnancy expert, the alias Neo Brown. Neo Brown has basically been a ghost since I came across her original article at motherhooddiaries.com 7 years ago. When I originally read her story back in 2016, I instantly believed it. In hindsight, I was naive, as I said. I tried to find out more about the author Neo Brown's personal life, but was quite unsuccessful. I do have to say that people who know her in the UK in real life have left comments about her on my other videos. They've sent me emails explaining her lies and troubled background. However, they've never told me her real name. So for over 7 years, I didn't know, nor could I find her real name until now. Anyways, because she is obsessed with cryptic pregnancy and because I speak out against the ideas she presents as truth so passionately and consistently, she feels the need to lash out at me. It's childish, I know, but this is what she does. If your ideas are true, why the need to try to shut me up? Why the need to try to shut up the other side? I'm the representative for the other side. I present the opposite of what you believe, and you hate me for it. If you, Neo, represent the truth, why keep part of it hidden? Why try to shut me up? Well, Neo Brown, I know your real name, and I'm not afraid to reveal it because I found this information on your public profiles, on Facebook, on TikTok, and here on YouTube. When you make something public, there is something called the Fair Use Act. And I'm perfectly within law to talk about you, and that includes revealing the name you yourself have already revealed because you have 100 followers on TikTok. Good for you, girl. And this means you have already released your real name to the public, and so my discussion of you is just commentary and snark. So I'm perfectly within the law to discuss things you posted yourself to your public profiles. So you and everyone knows the story. You left a post on my Facebook group, and I decided to click on your profile attached to that arrogant and egotistical post. It led me to some TikTok posts you uploaded on your profile publicly. So at a glance, I saw the name attached to these TikTok videos and posted by you to your profile publicly. So you posted this stuff yourself. It read clear as day, Abigail Burrows. Interesting. Me being the curious person I am, I Googled your name, watched a few TikToks, and yep, it's your voice, as you have left me voice messages on Facebook Messenger. We can definitely take a listen to the voice message that you left in my Facebook Messenger and compare it to the TikTok videos. Let's do that now.
You sick, crazy woman. Okay, I think you need to see a doctor and get on some medication. Because not only are you harassing me, you're harassing my friends like Ashin and Lily Rose, who's a lovely person. Now, I don't care what you think you interviewed me for. You're clearly very, very unbalanced, which everybody knows.
What exactly is fornication? It's not sex before marriage, and it's not sex between Jews and non-Jews. It's sex between people of different ontological natures. You see, some people are demons and some are humans. Don't have sex with a demon.
Same voice, same person. Neo Brown is Abigail Burrows, and from the looks of it, she is desperate to be famous. She wants and craves all eyes on her and her voice. It doesn't matter to her how she receives this attention. Abigail, you so want praise so much that you are willing to make up controversial misinformation that goes against the grain in order to be unique or feel special. Abigail, you're a narcissist, and you should be eating this video up because this video is all about you. You and I both know everything you spew about cryptic pregnancy is made up for attention and the little bit of money you get, but mostly attention. And I'm sure you wished it made much more money, but beggars can't be choosers, so. This is my open letter to Abigail Burrows, aka Neo Brown. Abigail, you are a walking contradiction. Everything that comes out of your mouth is a half-truth or a full lie. In my opinion, you are so desperately desire attention and praise that you are willing to lie to yourself and others about something like pregnancy, a condition that has been observed and studied since the beginning of existence. I'm not saying you personally, Abigail, are delusional, because you might not be. I'm saying it is delusional to continuously believe you are pregnant for years upon years without birth and no positive ultrasound scan results. It is delusional to continuously tell someone like a reader or any woman or person that confides in you that they are pregnant and will be for years upon years and will continue to be pregnant until the reader or the person who confides in you vaguely increases their energy work to increase their life force so they can eventually turn their pregnancy normal so the reader can eventually birth a baby that has never been seen on ultrasound. I'm not calling you a demon or a non-human because you believe these things. I'm simply saying what you believe is wrong. You aren't bad or unworthy for being wrong. What you believe has no evidence or proof to prove that it is real. It is a delusion and delusional to tell readers that they will consistently test negative for HCG until they do vague, intense spiritual work to turn their unseen baby into a reality. It is also pure manipulation to tell women and their partners this dangerous and cruel lie. This theory is wrong, Abigail, and you are wrong for spreading it as truth because it hurts and damages. However, you aren't a non-human or demon because you intentionally spread this information. You truly believe you are right and the theories you spout are true. You have led yourself astray, and instead of relying on information presented throughout history, alternative medicine, modern medicine, the Word of God, and informational science, you instead have relied on yourself only for the development and advertisement of this dangerous propaganda. Abigail, you are more than capable of realizing your faults and believing your own made-up stories. You are more than capable of admitting a pregnancy of yours is not physiologically possible. I personally have a problem with you attempting to make money from this lie because you know you haven't presented reliable and verifiable research and information to support a pregnancy of years with a slow-growing, hidden baby. The number one problem I have with you presenting a pregnancy of years with a slow-growing hidden baby as truth is because the theory of a cryptic pregnancy of years supports the scams in Africa and other countries, as well as promotes the dangerous and disgusting practice of human trafficking, child trafficking, and baby farms with the use of the pregnancy scam in the name of cryptic pregnancy. This dangerous belief and books that support this belief, like the one you wrote, Abigail, give these sick experts, scammers, and con artists power because they now have someone else talking about this dangerous theory. You, Abigail, making it seem real and legitimate. Your book is helping predators in Africa and surrounding countries continue to rape and impregnate women and sell their babies on the black market because you're giving this pregnancy scam in the name of cryptic pregnancy legitimacy. You, Abigail, help and enable these expert con artists under the trusted name of a priest, pastor, healer, midwife, or even a doctor or fertility specialist. Induce a false pregnancy, extort the woman and her partner for millions, negatively manipulate her body and mind with dangerous herbs and theology, and put her life at risk with the herbal concoctions they have her ingest weekly in order to induce the body to produce pregnancy symptoms and make her belly grow big, round, and hard. Abigail, yes, I think you want the money you obtained from this cryptic pregnancy scam and book, but I know you aren't making much money from any of this, including your sad excuse for a book. So it is obvious to many that it's the attention, praise, and admiration you desire from the attention you receive and being the self-proclaimed cryptic pregnancy expert. The importance you feel from women asking you questions, asking for advice, wanting your approval, praising you for spreading this dangerous misinformation, and all of the satisfaction you receive daily, moderating your dangerous cryptic pregnancy groups on Google. Abigail, is the praise and admiration you get worth knowing your theories and books support the dangerous practice of human child trafficking and baby farms? I know you aren't making much money, so it has to be about the attention. Is the attention worth knowing a woman is being raped to support a pregnancy scam and her baby will be taken from her, and your book supports these actions because it helps convince women a pregnancy like this can happen, so they purchase this kind of pregnancy from a sham midwife, therefore supporting it because reading your self-published book convinced them to? Abigail, everyone has experienced trauma to some degree. What you wrote in your book about trauma and cryptic pregnancy is manipulation. To state that anyone who has experienced trauma is a true being and only true beings will experience a cryptic pregnancy, this includes the entire population. No one goes through life without trauma, and what's interpreted as trauma is different for every person. This alone, in my opinion, makes your book garbage, but I will elaborate further. In your book, you state, Abigail, do you know how controlling it is to say someone is delusional for not agreeing with you? Specially, not especially, but specially, spelled SPECIALLY, as the doctors point blank refuse to look for a fetal heartbeat. One of the things that doctors admit in their own literature should be used to rule out a delusional or a false pregnancy. Let me first correct you that doctors do not use a Doppler to rule out a delusional or a false pregnancy. Doctors use ultrasound to rule out delusional or false pregnancy. They do not only look for a fetal heartbeat with a Doppler, as an ultrasound would be very superior to a Doppler. It would hit two birds with one stone. Not only would you see and verify the baby's in the correct spot, which is the uterus, you would also see and possibly even hear the baby's heartbeat. Visualizing the baby via the ultrasound is superior to listening to the heartbeat via a fetal Doppler. Also, this is not a simple disagreement in belief. I disagree with you presenting lies as truth. I'm saying you can believe whatever you want, Abigail, personally, but what you believe personally is not the truth. And I have a problem with you presenting your personal beliefs as the undeniable truth to people online and in your self-published book. I have a problem with this unproven belief because it negatively impacts the fertility of any woman. If a reader or follower actively wants a baby, falsely believing that she is pregnant for any amount of time changes her body's hormones, making it so that she can't get pregnant, or it makes it harder for her to become pregnant during the time that she falsely believes that she is pregnant. I have a problem because according to you, Abigail, the reader could falsely believe she is pregnant for years upon years until she spiritually turns her baby into a reality. I have a problem with your ideas and beliefs supporting the disgusting practice of human trafficking and baby farms. I have a problem with this erroneous belief because it makes it harder for women who are actually pregnant but are testing negative in urine and blood to get confirmation via their primary care physician. I have a problem with this belief because it is unsympathetic to bereaved parents and to anyone who has experienced early pregnancy loss or stillbirth. I have a problem with this belief because it is cruel to women and couples going through infertility and or fertility treatments. I have a problem with this fabricated belief because it supports the illegal activity of paternity fraud. And I'm making another video very soon where I'll elaborate further about paternity fraud related to cryptic pregnancy, as well as much more problems with this seemingly innocent idea, but in reality it is very harmful, dangerous, and evil. So stay tuned for that video. Abigail, a grieving mother or father does not need to hear or read that the baby they just lost or lost years back is not actually dead, but instead a cryptic pregnancy. An unknown pregnancy they have been with or their wife has been with for weeks, months, or years. A pregnancy doctors will not be able to see and say doesn't exist. A misdiagnosed pregnancy loss to cover up some other kind of secret special pregnancy. A pregnancy conspiracy where doctors lied to a woman and told her she lost her baby in utero when she actually didn't. This is abusive. A grieving mother or father does not need to read that the baby they lost during pregnancy was actually a perfectly normal pregnancy that they had removed from their bodies because it was actually a cryptic pregnancy. This is cruel. A woman doesn't need to read that the pregnancy she lost and was told by doctors was unsuccessful, and she had to have a D&C to have the pregnancy removed, was actually a perfectly normal pregnancy that would have developed slowly into a living cryptic pregnancy baby to be born years after she was told she lost the baby. And the doctors just lied to her to take her baby because they want the baby dead. This is abusive. A woman does not need to read that the lies in a book that the fibroid tumor or cyst that she had removed months or years back was actually a living cryptic pregnancy baby that could have been born, but the doctors lied to them to steal the said cryptic pregnancy baby or to intentionally kill it. This is criminal. All of these situations are unsolicited medical advice. This is the unauthorized practice of medicine. Abigail Burrows, you are partaking in the unauthorized practice of medicine. This is illegal. You are doing illegal things in this self-published book, and the fact that it is written out gives the reader hard evidence to submit in a court of law to prosecute you for these illegal activities. Abigail, you should be ashamed you included this scheme and misinformation in your Cryptic Pregnancy book. It is obvious you wrote this to manipulate any reader who has suffered a chemical pregnancy, early pregnancy loss, miscarriage, stillbirth, and/or ectopic pregnancy. Any reader who has had a cyst, tumor, fibroid, or unsuccessful pregnancy removed. You want the reader to believe they are experiencing a cryptic pregnancy, whether they actually are or not. It's sad, it's mean, it's pure deception, and you should be ashamed you are the self-proclaimed expert of this online cryptic pregnancy scam. This book is quite unfortunate and wicked, as the theology written in it is harmful to a person's future if they are naive enough to believe and follow your words, Abigail. To any reader, a pregnancy of yours would be detrimental to the likelihood of bearing children. If the reader believes she has become pregnant at, let's say, age 44, and she is then convinced she will be pregnant for 8 years, this puts her into menopause, and now her ability to become pregnant has been significantly impacted. Due to this dangerous theory of cryptic pregnancy of years and this stupid book, books like it, and related websites and groups. It's not a situation I would want anyone in, and this is why I'm making this video. I have a problem with the information of pregnancy of years because it negatively and sometimes permanently impacts a woman's fertility. Abigail, writing in your self-published book, and I quote, "Do you know how controlling it is to say someone is delusional for not agreeing with you?" End quote. Do you realize how contradictory this statement is, Abigail? Do you understand how absurd it is to call someone in your self-published book who disagrees with you that call them a demon or not a true being or not a non-human? According to you, they aren't a real human because they don't agree with the information you include in your dreadful book. I might say your theories on cryptic pregnancy are delusional or stupid or incorrect and state in detail the reasons why you are mistaken. This is far from calling you a demon or not a real human. I am attacking an idea, a lie you are presenting as truth. You are attacking the person or reader who doesn't believe your theories to the very core and dehumanizing them in order to try and control their behavior and beliefs. You don't leave room for the other side. Your point of view is distorted and you are completely blind to your bias. It's so sad. Abigail, you use dehumanizing tactics in all the information you present. You are a narcissist. Narcissists classify others as inferior, unworthy, or evil to justify oppressing or attacking them. They may devalue you through dismissive remarks or hostile humor, or treat you as other, seeking to make you feel subhuman and alone, hoping to make you feel like not a real human. This is supported by the text in your self-published book, and I quote, "Women who can't self-conceive normally conceive in the animal sexual way," end quote. And this text, and I quote, "So it is with demons and robotic consciousness, humans, they can be any race and any gender. They look like humans and even act like humans most of the time, but they are not a human. They are fake humans," end quote. Stating that a person who doesn't believe in the concepts included in this book is incapable of self-conception and therefore only produces in the animal sexual way. Stating that the non-believer or not a true being or not real human is an animal of some sort and looks like a human, but it isn't. These both are examples of dehumanizing the reader who disagrees with anything included in this book. So Abigail, the writer, tries very hard using these tactics. You not only manipulate, but also extort the reader to the very core of who they think they are, so you can attempt to brainwash them into buying into your pathetic theories on cryptic pregnancy. Abigail, this is textbook cult indoctrination, as the cryptic pregnancy reader is expected to not question or critically examine your concepts of cryptic pregnancy, or you, Abigail, will label them a demon or non-human. This inadvertently is a threat. You inadvertently threaten your readers in your piss poor book. It's quite sad. You are attempting to use cult indoctrination techniques in this book with these threats. If they disagree, you will label them or see them as lesser them and call them a non-human or a demon. Abigail, the people disagreeing with this book and these malicious theories are not fake humans. Just regular normal humans who can see your deception and evil intentions. Being a programmed skeptic, a robot, or a fake human is not the main reason people disagree with this information. The main reason people disagree with this information, Abigail, is because it's completely absurd. Women all over the world have babies without medical intervention, and the pregnancy lasts 37 to 42 weeks, respectively, from the date of their last menstrual period. Doctors do not have any influence on the length of a pregnancy when a woman decides she's going to have a natural childbirth, have a wild pregnancy, or give birth with little to no medical intervention. Women all over the world choose to have a wild pregnancy where the mother gives herself her own prenatal care, never sees a doctor or midwife, doesn't have an ultrasound, and goes on to give birth unassisted spontaneously at around 37 to 42 weeks gestation. Sometimes they go to 44 weeks, but never longer than that. A doctor had absolutely no influence in this mother's pregnancy because she never saw one. This is the main and the most obvious reason people disagree with your information, Abigail. I speak out against it because your information supports the disgusting practice of human and child trafficking and baby farms. I speak up against it because this theory or idea hurts and damages grieving mothers and fathers. I speak up about this dangerous theory because it makes it harder for women with HCG negative pregnancies to be medically confirmed pregnant. I speak up about this theory because it enables and encourages a dangerous mental illness, delusion, and or psychosis. I speak up against this dangerous theory because it negatively and sometimes permanently impacts the fertility of the women who believe it. I speak up and out against a pregnancy of years or a pregnancy that cannot be seen for years because it is the right thing to do. Abigail, I'm very curious to know what you think the benefit of tricking someone into aborting their baby is. If a doctor wants to do this kind of work, they can easily work in an abortion clinic and end defenseless babies' lives all day long without risking losing their license to practice medicine. Tricking someone into killing their baby, how does this make the doctor's life better in any way? Do they make money from these cryptic pregnancy babies? How, if they are dead and pulled apart after being removed? How, if the only requirement for a cryptic pregnancy, according to you, Abigail, is a negative pregnancy test, disappointment and energy loss, trauma, so nothing sets the fetus itself apart from any other fetus in utero? These babies aren't genetically any different than any other baby on earth, so why would a doctor want these specific babies dead? Or want them at all? How would a doctor even be able to set apart a woman pregnant with the cryptic pregnancy baby and a woman pregnant with the regular baby in order to end her pregnancy? There is no physical difference. If the writer, Abigail, if you are going to make this accusation, then you should consider coming up with the reasons why any doctor would do this. If you're going to point the finger, at least consider coming up with specific reasons why a doctor would ever want to kill a woman's baby intentionally. Don't just accuse with no receipts. Oh, and energy work does not have a physical effect on the physical experience of any pregnancy. Practicing said energy work will not make a hidden pregnancy a seen pregnancy. Practicing energy work does not affect a person's fertility. It doesn't make an infertile woman fertile again. Energy loss in any interpretation does not affect a pregnancy test results or how long a pregnancy lasts in any capacity. So I ask, Abigail, how does this so-called life force, as you write in your self-published book, make the pregnancy test positive? How does this life force all of a sudden make the woman start producing HCG in her blood in urine? I can answer this for you. It doesn't. A person's spirit or life force has no direct effect on the promotion or production of hormones for any reason. Abigail, implicating that a person's lack of life force will extend their unconfirmed pregnancy is misinformation, and it's deceptive. It's meant to be vague for a reason. You don't even explain in your book how to specifically do this energy work. Your intentions behind this self-published malicious book is to get praise and to make the little bit of money that you make from it, but not to actually give someone real sound, trustworthy advice because you care about them and want to help them. If these truly are your intentions, Abigail, it's pure evil. That's the only way to describe it. The reader would be better off focusing their attention and time to prayer and asking God for a blessed child instead of reading your deception and malicious book. So, I ask Abigail, or the alias Neo Brown, or anyone who agrees with the information the writer presents in this disgusting book, if according to the writer Abigail, all that is needed for a cryptic pregnancy is trauma, a negative pregnancy test, and disappointment, which causes energy loss, which causes negative ultrasounds, then the baby in the cryptic pregnancy should be your typical human baby. So then how does losing life force extend the gestation of a pregnancy with a typical human baby? Again, I'll answer it for you, Abigail. It doesn't. It doesn't extend anything. It's just made up information. You just made all of that up. You put really big words together and we're like, this sounds good. And this will convince some women, but not all. Because not everybody's even going to buy your book because nobody has really even bought it. And that's just my opinion. A baby that is a product of a pregnancy of yours is required to be genetically different than a baby that was born from a pregnancy of 9 to 10 months. This is just how it works. You can't say, I've been pregnant for so many years, but I have a completely genetically same baby as the woman who had a pregnancy for 9 to 10 months. It makes no sense. So energy loss or lack of life force, as you describe it, Abigail, does not cause genetic mutations in an unborn child. Many women go through emotional and physical distress during pregnancy, which could be interpreted as energy loss or lack of life force. And this does not physically impact the baby's DNA during pregnancy or after birth. Even so, genetic mutations can easily be medically tested. This medical test would prove a pregnancy of yours is possible, and it is so easily done. But no human has ever been tested to be so genetically different that they are considered a different species of human. Every pregnancy is different, but not so different that it takes twice or 4 times as long to develop to birth and produces a genetically abnormal but also viable offspring. To this day, any woman who has ever claimed to have had a cryptic pregnancy baby of yours, this includes you, Abigail, aka Neo Brown, no one has ever come forward with DNA results of their offspring undeniably proving their pregnancy and therefore baby was genetically evolved and therefore their pregnancy was extended from the normal 9 to 10 month gestation to a gestation of years upon years upon years. Let me repeat, not even you, Abigail Burrows, aka Neo Brown. No one has ever come forward with DNA results undeniably proving that their offspring came from a pregnancy of years or longer than 9 to 10 months. In my opinion, Abigail, you want the reader of your book, at the very least, to believe in cryptic pregnancy of yours as a real medically hidden condition, and at the very most, believe themselves are too experiencing a cryptic pregnancy for various reasons, or all reasons that exclude very little situations. Meaning, Abigail, you have included trauma, miscarriages, and disappointment in your criteria for developing a cryptic pregnancy. 3 of the most common experiences known to humankind. It's quite apparent that you're trying to persuade your reader to agree with what you're presenting in your book. So this is a very common occurrence. And so if either of these situations has happened to the reader, they are experiencing unexplained symptoms. The reader now qualifies to be experiencing a cryptic pregnancy. This is manipulation and a biased perspective. Abigail, you're presenting as the truth. It's gross and predatory. Abigail, this information is cruel and dangerous. What if the reader of your cruel book, what if their pregnancy tests never turn positive? They are left thinking something is wrong with their divinity, their spirituality, physicality, and mentality. How does the reader know they have attained enough life force, as you call it, if their tests continue to stay negative and they continue to stay pregnant for 4, 7, 10, 12 years? The information included in this book is cruel, so misleading and harmful. I truly hope majorities stay away from this horrible excuse for a book and stay away from this self-proclaimed cryptic pregnancy expert, Abigail Burrows, aka Neo Brown. Abigail, I ask you, what if the reader can't find a fetal heartbeat using a fetal Doppler while using a finger pulse oximeter and they still believe that she's pregnant? Like, what if she can't find a fetal heartbeat, but she still believes she's pregnant? Does this mean she's pregnant because she believes she is? You never once discussed this very possible situation in your incriminating book. And so now the reader has to fix all their problems with their private, personal, and professional life. Otherwise, their pregnancy will never turn normal and the baby won't ever be born. This is so scary and intimidating to anyone. I mean, this is an intimidating idea. Of course, self-discovery is a good thing and should be done on a person's own terms. But pressuring someone to do this vague energy work, otherwise they won't ever live a normal life and will be endlessly ridiculed by others and lied to by doctors and never meet their unborn baby. This is disturbed and disgusting, this idea. How can you, Abigail, guarantee the reader can accomplish all this work in time before they die or become more ill, as they are already experiencing consistent negative physical symptoms, and now she advises that they deal with this pain and suffering all while trying to fix their entire lives in order to birth a baby they have never seen on ultrasound and doctors say doesn't exist? Abigail, you don't even explain to the reader how to do this in your book. It's a riddle, and you are a walking contradiction. Not to mention, the likelihood of developing any disease goes up significantly if you chalk up every sign and symptom you experience within a 1 to 10 year period to a pregnancy that won't ever end with birth, which is the exact circumstance of a false pregnancy. Ignoring diagnosed and undiagnosed conditions and not treating these conditions for any period of time can greatly lower a person's lifespan. So technically, anybody who reads your book and believes this information is lowering their lifespan. You can't just chalk up every sign and symptom you experience within a 1 to 10 year to 15 year period to a pregnancy that's been undiagnosed because doctors refuse to confirm your pregnancy and they're actually lying to you about this hidden pregnancy. Abigail, I'm not ridiculing how you live your personal and private life. I'm not judging how you treat your family or relatives because I don't know any of this information. I'm not judging how you spend your money or where you choose to shop because I don't care. I'm not ridiculing your appearance or past experiences because that's not my place to do so. I'm standing for the truth, and the information you present as the whole truth are actually half-truths. These half-truths hurt people. These half-truths support illegal and dangerous activities. These half-truths that you present in your ridiculous book can be detrimental to a person's future, and this is not okay. Your book and your views and theory that you push online is not okay. Abigail, if you're going to continue to present half-truths as full truths, I will have to continue to stand up and say, no, you're wrong, and list all the reasons why, as I have in this video and upcoming videos, so stay tuned. I'm not saying you are wrong for wearing eyeliner or your hair a certain way. I'm not saying you're a bad person because you drive a cheap car or knockoff shoes. I don't know any of that. I'm not saying your opinion shouldn't be heard because of the street you come from or the neighborhood you live in. I'm not saying I'm better than you because I disagree with your beliefs in cryptic pregnancy. I'm not saying you're a bad person for sharing these personal beliefs as your own personal truth. I'm saying you're wrong for putting your personal beliefs on others and trying to make profit and gain fame from these lies and misinformation. I disagree with you telling others this is happening to them and exploiting tragic experiences in order to convince your readers and followers that your half-truth beliefs are actually whole truths. If the requirements for a cryptic pregnancy that you say in your self-published book were true, Abigail, every childbearing age woman would have experienced or will experience a pregnancy of years at some point in their lives. And we both know, Abigail, that this isn't true, making this experience insignificant as it would be normal and undeniable to all doctors. But this isn't the case because a pregnancy of years doesn't happen. I truly hope you let this all go for your sake, Abigail. This book is incriminating and the perfect evidence for a criminal case. Now that your real name has been affiliated with your gross book, if any reader experiences damages listening to the unsolicited medical advice included all throughout your book, they can sue you. This isn't necessarily good for you, but great for the victim. If a woman that was drugged and raped to become impregnated for her child to be stolen and sold to the next cryptic pregnancy woman ever watches this video, she will then have the name for someone who supported the sick industry of human trafficking and baby farms. Hopefully she can then take legal action against you, Abigail Burrows. Your beliefs hurt women and men. Hoping eventual legal action will silence you permanently on this entire subject. Also, what happened to Katrina Knott? Anyways, thanks for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, please leave a heart in the comments below. Hope this video helps someone see the deception behind the alias Neo Brown. And I hope Abigail can see the damage her beliefs cause when she pushes them on others as truth. Be well. Stay blessed, friends. You too, Abigail Burrows. Thank you for watching. Bye.
We need a longer version. We need a longer version.
They want one that's longer. It's too short.